and welcome. My name is Michele Jutrisa, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel today. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up here in New South Wales, Australia. Excuse me. I've got a frog in my throat or something. Okay, what we're going to be doing today is something, probably a little bit more laid back and not as structured as what I would normally do. So let me just flip this down to my desk so you can see. Please jump on, say hello, let us know where you're from. It's always great having a chat. So this is the stamp set Gift of Joy. I have to admit, I bought this ages ago and I haven't used it until now. A little bit of a background on what we're going to be doing today. This is just a very casual, basically one sheet wonder type thing I'm going to create. Last year, my sons and I decided that we're going to be doing something a little bit different each year in our gift giving, and we're going to have like a Secret Santa. So last year I had some cards that I made up for them. I put a name in each card and they all picked it out of the hat, didn't know who they were getting, and that's who they're buying for this year. One of my sons said, okay, Mum, can we do it again? So I thought, got to make some more cards. So I thought this is what I'm going to be doing today, because I also need gift tags, so you can use this for quick gift tags as well. It's just a very, very quick, unthinking, unstructured way of creating some quick cards or gift tags that you can use if particularly even if you're running short. Hello, Leslie. How are you? Thanks for joining. So I'm going to be using this particular stamp set. As I said, I haven't used it until today. I've got a whole stack of inks here because I know lately too I've been doing lots of cards that didn't really have much stamping in it. They were all sort of like fun folds and using designer series paper to create our images. So this one is going to be very heavy stamped. So I've got Petunia Pop, Real Red, Pretty in Pink, Pool Party, Garden Green, Darling Duckling, and Old Olive. And I'm hoping these are all going to work together. And I've also got some Memento. So what I've done is I've taken majority of the stamps out of here, all but one or two, and I'm only using one of the sentiments. And I'm going to stamp all over a sheet of basic white cardstock. So I've just got a foam mat here and I've just covered it in a piece of paper just to give me a bit of padding because this is a photopolymer stamp set, but also to just protect the foam from getting ink on it. I've got my piece of basic white cardstock. I'm going to pop that to one side. So what I'm going to start with doing, I'm not actually creating a background as such. Well, I'm creating like images all over this, but I'm not doing a coloured background. I'm keeping it a white background. I will do some colouring around the edges with a blending brush after it's finished. But for the moment, I'm going to start off with my Memento Black, and I'm going to start stamping these images because these stamps are all two-step stamps. So you have an outline and then there's another stamp which fills it in. So I'm going to start off with my largest stamp out of this one, and there's two actually that come in quite large. There's like a wreath, and of course you could join that together to make a whole bit of a wonky circle, I think, but it would probably do it. And then there's a little floral one. I don't know whether you can see that. Let me show you on here. So you've got this floral image here. Then we have this wreath here. So I'm going to start off with those two. And I'm just going to stamp randomly around my cardstock. I'm not going to have it stamping too close. I don't care if I've got to go over the edge. I'm going to stamp at different angles. So we're just going to get some random images all over. Now this particular floral one has 2 stamps to fill in all of those images. I'm just going to turn that upside down so it's going slightly different. I don't want to have these too close together, and I'm not going to be too precious about where these are all going to go either. Just got to make sure I leave room for all the other bits and pieces going in there. So we're going to start off with that one, and now we're going to start filling in some of these areas with some of our other images. So again, just turning different directions, making sure some are coming off your page a bit. Let's go this way on that one. I'm going to go off there. And the beauty of this particular stamp set is that there is small stamps as well, so you can use them as fillers if need be. I think one more down here. So those two, and now the next size down, I'm going to go, here's this one, which is a stocking. Just going to take that off there. And again, we're just going to fill in some of these areas with some of these images here. As I said, just keep turning your stamp around so you've got it going in different directions. You can always come back and add another image if we find that we've got a few blank spaces. Oops, I've got two going the same way there. It's okay. Time you cut all these up. And because they're going to be cut up into tags, I'm actually going to make little 3x3 tags or little cards. So I'll pop that one in there. Okay, I'm going to pop this. This is a words. I'm just using Merry Christmas here, or Happy Christmas. Whoops. Didn't do that too well, did I? Let's see if I can correct that. I've got it halfway in my stamp. That's not too bad. I don't think by the time I cut it up, it may not even get used. Okay. Again, I'm not worrying too much about direction. Just want to keep turning this around, making sure that I've got plenty of coverage. Couple going off the edge. Leave that one for that for the moment. Now we'll pick another one. We've got this one here, which is square. Start filling in some of these holes in here. Do that there. Might come back with a few more of that one in a minute. And we've got this little cute one. Another small one. We've got a bit of empty space in here, so just going around. Okay, so that's starting to look pretty good, I think. So I'm going to start adding a little bit of colour now. There is a ribbon or a bow in this, and there is a bow piece you can put on top of these squares as a ribbon on that, but I'm actually going to be using the bow, and it's in red, and I'm going to be using the bow also maybe to fill in a few areas. So let's just start working on some of these filler stamps. Now I just need to grab some of these blocks. So I've got the stocking here, and I want to do it in pretty in pink. And we're just going to line these up as best as we can and stamp over the top. Just move that out of the road, pop that there a bit more. Now these, you don't have to be too finicky about these stamps because they do go outside the lines, the black lines. They're not meant to be within that black line. So if you get them outside the lines, don't be too worried. Let's just turn this around. Oops, let me just move that out of the road so I can just stamp these in. Now this would be also good if you're wanting to make up some quick Christmas cards with using the note cards and envelopes. You just do one of these and then cut it down to fit the note cards and envelopes. Okay, have I missed any? I think I have got them all. So that's that one done. Then we have Pool Party, and I'm going to do the square with that one. So I just need to grab that one there. And we're just going to go around and fill this up again, just turning it in different directions so you've got your lines going different ways. That one there. Okay. So as you can see, it doesn't take too long to fill this up. Now I want the old olive, and I'm going to do the wreath with the old olive. Because these stamps also give you that little bit of texture as well, in the fact that they're a little bit of the I'm trying to think, distinctive type stamps. Turn that around so I can get these ones over here. So who's almost ready for Christmas? I'll tell you, I'm not. Well, I don't have it, as I said before, we're only buying for one person this year, so I don't have as many. I've only got one Christmas present as such, but I did buy something for my husband. But I was sweating on what I was buying for my person arriving. So it's just arrived today. So that's good. I can now wrap it up and get it underneath the tree. Okay. So there's that one. I'll pop that ink pad away. The little Christmas balls I'm going to be doing in Darling Duckling. Let's just turn this around again. And I think I've got one more. No, there's another two. As I said before, this is just a very, very simple one-sheet wonder for me. I still feel I've got a bit of empty space there, but I'm not worrying about it just yet. Okay. So let's pop that over there. I'm going to bring in Garden Green. I'm leaving my red to last, so now this one here is a little bit trickier to line it all up, but you've got some little dots right there in the center, and that is the center of the flowers. Just taking my time and just lining this one up because there's lots of little parts to this one. Turn that upside down and do this one upside down. Sorry if my head is in the road. Just a couple more. The whole trick with this is just to hover over it, just over the top, till you're sure you've got it in the right spot, and then stamp down. That's okay, Leslie. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. And thank you very much for joining me this year. I will be back sometime probably after Christmas. We haven't decided when we're visiting my parents as yet, so whether we'll do another live between Christmas and New Year, I'm not quite sure. So if not, as I said, have a lovely Christmas, have a lovely New Year, stay safe, and we'll see you definitely next year. But thank you. I really do appreciate everyone who jumps on and comments and lets me know their thoughts on what I'm creating. Okay, so now I'm coming in with Petunia Pop. And we're going to fill in these flowers. So I wasn't quite sure whether this is going to be too bright or not, but I think we needed something bright to give it a bit more life. And I find if I line up all those dots around the outer perimeter of the flower, then everything seems to line up. The flowers seem to line up nicely. Oops, missed it there, but that's okay. It's up near my wonky happy Christmas too. So maybe that might be cut out when we come to cutting this up. I think the trick with this is just keep turning your paper around, turning your stamps around, so you can see where everything goes or fits. And we've got one more over here. So that's all the Petunia Pop. Now I'm going to come in with my real red and fill in some of these holes and put some bows on our Christmas. I'm not quite sure whether I said it before, but there is this piece here which is a bow to go on top of the presents, but I ended up deciding I'd rather the red Christmas bow. So I'm going to start doing this on the presents to start with. So I'm going to pop that one onto there. Try not to get my finger in the ink. And then I'm just going to pop a few bows just in around some of these, just to fill in some of these little holes. Oops, I've left that flower there out. I'll come back to it in a second. You can also come back in and add some more Christmas balls if you wanted to. Might add something in there somewhere, but not necessarily this. Okay, now I just need to do that one, and I'm just going to clean the red off that stamp first because it will stain. You like the colours? Good. I was sort of a bit concerned about that, whether I had good colours or not. How are you, Marie? Merry Christmas to you too. Thank you for jumping on. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this one in again. We just found one of these, which we had missed over here. Okay, now, do we have any little holes we can fill in that need to be filled in? I think I'm going to pop a Merry Christmas, or a Happy Christmas, I should say, in there. That fills that spot up nicely. Maybe another one or partial one over here. I've got a feeling I should have something in there. So I'm wondering whether just grab another block. Pop that one on there. May not be able to fit the bow on top of it though. That's the only thing. Okay, let's grab some Pool Party. That filled that little hole up. I've got too many ribbons there now, but anyway, that is great like that, I think. -22. Oh, look, I could come to your place, and if I jump into your snow right now, you'd probably have nothing left around me because it is hot here. I'm not quite sure what the temperature is, but it was hot yesterday and it was hotter today. What does my phone tell me? It's 33 here. So quite warm. And I've got the fan on, but I haven't got it moving, so it's not much air is moving around. My husband's got the whole house closed up, so after I finish here, I'll clean up and head into my lounge room where it should be a lot cleaner. Okay, so now what do I want to do on this? I was thinking of adding some Wink Estella. Okay. So let's see if we can add a little bit of this. So we've got a little bit of sparkle. It's like sometimes just to give this a bit of a squeeze first and whoops. Not quite sure how much of that's actually getting on there. Doesn't look like there's much, but let's keep going. That's better. So I want some big drops of this. I want lots of sparkle. It's Christmas time. I don't use sparkle much. Oops, there's a big drop of. Okay. I think that's enough of that. Otherwise I can go overboard. Got a big drop of it just there. See if I can wipe a bit of that up. Yeah, it's spreading that ink a little bit, so it's ruined that little spot just there. But anyway, I don't know whether you can see that, but we've got some Winker Stella on there. Okay. So let's just move all of these out of the road and I will clean them up later. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to pop this to one side just to let it dry. Send you some heat. Oh, I'd love to. I would love to. So now I've got some cardstock here I'm going to make. I went through my stash this morning, and years ago Stampin' Up had 3x3 envelopes. So I've got all these little envelopes which are 3x3. Let me just double check and make sure that they are 3x3 inches. Which, where is my ruler? Because that might mean I might have to make. They're actually a 3 1/8. So if I make my cards 3-inch square, that should be fine. So if I'm going to make these 3-inch squares, I need this to be 6 inches in width. So I'm going to trim that down. That will just go into my little pile of what I can use later on. So that's now 6 inches wide, and 6 inches is 15 point. Actually, I could probably do this 15, and that would fit in that envelope a little, maybe a little bit more on the comfortable side. No, I'll leave it at 3. And I'm going to pop that on the 3-inch mark there, which is 3 inches is 7.6 centimetres. And I'm going to score that down the middle. Now I need to make quite a few of these, so I'm just going to cut at the moment this one piece of cardstock, but I will be making a few more than what I've got here. And then I'm going to cut these in 3-inch strips. Now I just want to double check and make sure I've got that right, because for some reason that doesn't look right to me. That's 3, that's 6. No, that's right. And I'm going to cut this into 3 inches. There's one card. Let's move that one out of the road. Out of one piece of A4 cardstock, I'll probably only get 3 cards. 2. And this one here, which is only just going to be, yeah, it's a bit too small. So you could make another one if you wanted to, make it a bit smaller than that. Hello, Kay, how are you going? So I'm just going to cut another lot now, just so then, because it doesn't take long to cut these up. So I'm cutting that at 6 inches. I'm going to score it at 3. And then cut at 3, because I need to make around about just for our Secret Santa, 8 of these. So this is going to give me 6. Now, of course, you could use these just as like little mini cards or gift tags. So there's 6 there. So I'm going to start with those. Grab my bone folder. I'm going to fold all of these in half. Just not being too pedantic about this because look, I don't know, they're probably going to get lost. My husband lost his. He was sort of like, oh, I hope I can remember who I'm buying for. And having a household of boys, majority of them have lost it. I know one of them, his partner has grabbed it and put it away for him so he could find it for this year. But this can be used then as a swing tag for their gifts that they're giving next year because the person's name will be written on the inside. This is for a Secret Santa, if you missed that. So, okay, so there's all my little cards. And actually, while I've got these here, what did I say, 6, 4, 5, 6. So, work out which is the top. These are the little 3x3 envelopes. Unfortunately, Stamping Up don't have them anymore. But it is something that they used to carry. But I'm just going to stamp a couple of these with some of these little images. Okay, now I want the stocking. I'm just going to pop that on there. That can go there. And I can either leave those blank or I think what I will do is just very quickly there's that one. That one. Oops, wrong one. That's it. as I said before, don't worry about with these stamps that you don't get full, stay within the lines, because you're not really meant to with these ones. Okay, so we need some garden green. I keep shoving my finger into the ink. Okay, let's have a look. Where have we got this? That one. Now, I'm not going to stamp all these up now. I will finish stamping these up later on. But I think you're getting the gist of what I'm doing. There's that one. And I think the only thing I probably want to stamp on all of these is the, well, I could do one more actually in, oh my God, I've got an envelope left, yes. And because this one didn't actually have an outline to it, there's no reason why we can't just put one of those in the corner. Put one of those on there. I'll clean all those other blocks. I like to clean my red ones first, because that red and Night of Navy will stain your photopolymer very easily. Okay, so there's all those. Just a little bit of decoration on there. Nothing too fancy. Let's just move all of this out of the road. Got our cards. Now we need to make, this should be dry now. And let's cut this up. Baking counts as gifts, yes. And I've had to make, my husband's Croatian. He's Australian, but his family come from Croatia, and they have a walnut roll, and every year at Christmas time I make it for him. And the other day it would have been perfect because it was very cool. We're supposed to be getting some rain maybe over the weekend, and I'm hoping we are, because if the weather stays like this, I won't be doing any baking. So yeah, saying it's almost Christmas. You have 12 days of baking to fit into 6. Yep, because you spent your money on craft. Oh, Nicole. Well, I'm sure you'll enjoy your baking. Okay, so I'm going to cut these into, now, as I said before, I'm doing this in inches. So I'm actually doing it at 2.78, which works out at 7.3. So I'm going to cut that into strips. Probably may only get, not quite sure whether I'm going to get that one at 7.3. I'm hoping so. No, I'm not anywhere near it. So I'm going to have a spare. But you know what? I can cut this up into tags, and I can cut this up into, this is what, 27. 27.7. Come on, who's good with maths? If I divide that by 3, that's 9.23. So if I can get 3 tags out of this by cutting it, each one at 9 centimetres. They'll be small tags, but they'll be tags. Probably could have cut it a bit bigger. Let's have a look. Let's cut those two off there. Okay. So I've got 3 tags there that I might just punch something nice at the top or curve the corners, put a hole in it, and there we go. I've got 3 Christmas tags that we can use. Now I need to cut these into, now there's one end of one of these. I've ruined that end of that strip, and I've ruined that end. So let's see if I start cutting on this end. And we want to cut it at the same 2 7/8. So I got 1. 2, 4, 6. I don't think I would just make that, but I'm going. They're the 2 ends that were not as good because of that, the bigger Stella and that. But anyway, I can make some more. I can pop those to one side because I think I'm going to throw them away. But I've got some here to get me started. But if I hadn't ruined those, I might have just been just enough. Now, I'm going to add a bit more colour to this. I'm going to add a little bit of blending. Yeah. So are you a school teacher, Nicole? Yes, I've got a few friends and family that are school teachers, and I'm sure they're very pleased that their year is over. Now I'm just adding some balmy blue onto this just to give it a little bit of interest around the edges and just to make it look a little bit more special. Could do the same with those tag pieces that I've cut. You can go back, see this one here is missing Happy Christmas, but there's enough room in there, and I might do that and go back and add Happy Christmas in there. This one has got its Happy Christmas. That's the one I had put the 3 bows a little bit too close, and I managed to get them all onto the one tag. Gee, couldn't have planned that if you tried harder. Would have liked to have seen them split up a bit more, but anyway, that doesn't matter. Got a fingerprint in that one. But that's okay, because these are just so my kids can pick one out of a hat and work out who they're buying for next Christmas. This is for our Secret Santa. Teacher's aid. Yeah. Okay. Last one. So that's all that done. I'm going to grab that Merry Christmas And there was one of these. That one's got Happy Christmas on it. That one there, there's nowhere really to put it on there. That one's got one. That one's got one. This one hasn't got it at all. So let's just add something to this one. And I might just put a little bit here on the angle so then it just looks like it was meant to be. But that just didn't miss out completely. Okay. So there's those and my cards. And I'm just going to use seal for this. Work out which way you want to have these going. I think I want that one. To be there. It's just a really quick way to make up, you know, something if you need it really, really quick. Whoops. It's getting hot in here. I've got my door closed. Even though I've got the fan on, it's still quite warm. That's okay, Kay. Have a Merry Christmas. Probably be back after New Year. I may pop on very quickly and do something. But at the moment, it's possibly going to be New Year before I get back. And that all will depend on when I go to visit family in Mudgee. I've finished sewing for the year, which is good. Okay, this is the last one. So basically all I've done is make sure that the Happy Christmas really on each one of these is around the sort of the right way. But there we go. I have got now here, out of that, I have got 6 little gift cards, which I will write people's names in. Still got 2 more. I was playing around earlier with this, so I've got another one here. So I really only just need to make 1 more. I've got another 3 here that are not as wide, but I'm going to turn them into tags. And that's my one sheet wonder. So a really quick, easy way to make tags for this Christmas, or you could cut them up bigger for card fronts as well. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed today. It was just something really, oh, and we've got our envelopes. Can't forget them. We've got our envelopes as well. It was just something that I wanted to do that was going to be, you know, quick and simple, just to show you what you can do with just a few bits and pieces and just to have some fun, really. So I hope you all have a very, very Merry Christmas. Again, thank you very much for jumping on each week over this year. I have really, really appreciated everyone jumping on and leaving comments and chatting with me while I craft. It's a lot better than crafting on your own, that's for certain. But have a safe Christmas, and I hope Santa is kind to every one of you. So thank you very much. Bye for now.